So yesterday, Venerable Seppo talked about how happiness really comes from our state of mind. And if we train ourselves to pay attention to our mind and not be so externally referenced, then we have some chance of creating some happiness and peace. And we can go a little bit deeper than that by identifying when we're attached to something or someone. And so attachment, the definition of attachment is that we exaggerate the positive aspects of something and ignore the negative aspects or downplay them. And then we cling to what we're, attached to. And so I can remember when I first heard about attachment years ago, I thought, gosh, this Buddhist path, it doesn't have much joy in it or much pleasure, I thought, geez, just joyless fuddy-duddies here, Ugh. And of course, that is not the case. And then also, I think sometimes when we hear about attachment at first, we can think that desire or pleasure is the problem, and so we try and shut down from that. And that doesn't work either, because then we really don't have a connection to our love and compassion for others or ourselves, so that doesn't work. And it's really hard to identify attachment because initially it feels pleasurable. And of course, it's still a disturbed emotion. If we look very closely, we can see when we're attached to something or someone, our peace of mind is disturbed. It's not a calm mind at all. And when our peace of mind is disturbed, then we're not thinking as clear. That's for sure. But I think we're just so habituated to this that we don't even recognize it. We have to put some effort into recognizing it. And of course, the self-centered attitude, it does not want us to look at the pain that attachment creates. It does not want us to look at that. So when we exaggerate the qualities of something or someone, the result of that is disappointment, because it doesn't live up to our distorted version or view of the thing. And so I think many of us have had this experience where, we fall head over heels in love with somebody. And after about 2 months, it's like, okay, where did that person go? This one is so irritating. Their habits are terrible. Where did the one go? But of course, that's just our attachment. We ignore, the negative aspects of someone and only see the positive ones. And then, when we get a little clearer and start looking at them a little more realistically, then it's like, whoa, yeah. And of course, then what do? We get either angry or depressed or both. Yeah. And then it's interesting what can happen then, since we're so habituated to this way of kind of glomming on to things, then we just look for the next thing. And then we get attached to that. And then we get disappointed. And then we go to the next thing. And so it's this kind of roller coaster. And it really is, takes all of our energy. And it's not pleasant at all if you really start looking at it. So one of the things that I look at to try and identify this is to look at kind of this zingy energy of anticipation. When I'm anticipating something, oftentimes there's attachment there. And so I'm exaggerating the positive qualities of something. And if I don't adjust my thinking, I'm setting myself up for suffering every time, again and again and again. So what's the practice? So it's to try and identify attachment. So to try and look realistically at, what I am kind of glomming on to make myself really reflect on, am I seeing this in a realistic manner? Or is my mind only looking at the positive of something? And it could be anything, an object or, or a person, anything. And to try and make my mind look at the whole spectrum of what this can bring, you know. If it's an object, you know, oh, I want that so badly, I gotta go get it, and then what? Well, if I look clearly, I can see, you know, it's gonna break. You know, and I don't look at all of that, so it's like this total buzzkill, you know, so everything's just flat. Not in that way, but just to look at it realistically so that I don't set myself up for the fall once again. And so I detach a bit. And then what? Then I enjoy the moment or enjoy the thing while it's there. But I have a realistic idea of it, you know, it's not going to last forever, whatever it is, yeah? And so then I kind of let go. I let go. Huh? And over time, what happens is that what replaces then this zingy anticipation that I'm feeling then becomes a sense of some contentment. And gosh, doesn't that sound nice? Some contentment, yeah? And then really some stable happiness, yeah? So maybe let's look at what we're attached to, like when we're standing in the food line, looking for all of these things that's going to bring lasting happiness. Maybe not. Just like Venerable Seppo said yesterday. Yeah.